Welcome and thank you all for joining us today. We are excited to kick off this session and dive into the world of high-performance wireless connectivity with Mimosa Networks, a leader in next-generation fixed wireless broadband solutions. Mimosa is known for pushing the boundaries of what a wireless network can do, delivering fiber-fast speeds and carrier-grade reliability. That is exactly what today's webinar is all about, redefining connectivity with Mimosa, high-performance, low-complexity broadband solutions. Here to speak today is Jeff Jones, Manager of Global Sales Engineering. But before we dive in, we'd like to take a moment to recognize our supporting partner for today's webinar, T-Core Solutions. T-Core Solutions, a proudly Canadian-owned company serving as Winncom's business development, sales, and logistics across Canada. Their team specializes in end-to-end wireless and broadband support, from engineering and plan design to staging, warehousing, and logistics. With offices in Alberta, Ontario, and Quebec, T-Core Solutions is strategically positioned to deliver tailored solutions that help accelerate network deployment and improve operational efficiency coast to coast. We're proud to have T-Core Solutions as a valued partner in bringing Mimosa's cutting-edge technology to markets across Canada. If anyone has any questions throughout this presentation, please feel free to add them into the chat and they'll be addressed at the end of the webinar. Jeff, you're up.
Thank you, Dawn. Appreciate the opportunity to speak to everyone today. Again, my name is Jeff Jones. I'm based here in sunny California. Where our offices are located in Santa Clara, California. We also have offices in other locations as well, including Turkey and India and locations in South America. With further ado, let me go ahead and jump right in here and give you a flavor about our company. As I mentioned, we're headquartered in Santa Clara, California. That's where we got our humble beginnings about 2012. We started out at a storefront in Los Gatos, California. I started 2 years after the company started there, so I've been here a while and got to see a lot of changes and advancements in both in the industry as well as our business. We have locations, like I mentioned, in Istanbul. We have our development team there. We also have global manufacturing capabilities overseas as well. One of our biggest bragging points is that we have over 1 million devices deployed worldwide. With carrier-grade solutions in 160 countries. And I think that number is a little outdated. I think we're actually closer to about 180 now. You know, some of the big things that we can talk about here today is, 2 years ago, we were acquired by a company called Reliance Jio. Reliance Jio is the largest wireless carrier in India, owned by Mukesh Ambani. And Mukesh and his company were actually originally customers of ours. They liked us so much that they ended up buying us, which that's a really good compliment for us. Today, Reliance is obviously our parent company. We're operating under the Redefining name, which is US-based operations, and we're seeing some pretty good activity. We have 238 billion market cap right now, as well as we are getting deeper involved with fiber fast broadband connectivity with our products and with our market. Let's talk a little bit about fixed wireless access. You'll hear this buzzword many times, FWA, a fancy word for just what it sounds. We're not a mobility solution. We're actually fixed wireless, where you would either put an access point up on a building, a tower, or a point-to-point radio on another tower and do a point-to-point link. We both specialize up to today with the unlicensed spectrum. We also have a licensed spectrum radio that we offer. We are really focusing more on the tier 1 deployments since WISP operators, many of our customers are already established, although we continue to share and promote our product for them. We are fiber-like speeds. The good news is that as fiber is being built out, which sometimes takes months, if not years, to get implemented, we can literally implement our systems in a matter of days, if not weeks. And then finally, price, performance, superior to fiber. We really do try to complement fiber. We don't necessarily try to replace fiber. I never thought fiber as a competition, but more of another means of connectivity. And in fact, I'll show you a slide a little bit later that talks a little bit more about that. Here's our global footprint. Again, we have a worldwide presence. We have over 1 million devices and a growth rate of fixed wireless of 38% over the next 10 years. So the market is rich. Let's talk about some of our radios. I want to focus on our 6 series radios today. These are the latest and greatest radios that are coming out or are out. And let me just talk a little bit more about that here. As you can see here, we have the A6 access point, the B6 point-to-point radio, the C6, and then the C6X. Now, if you look closely, you'll see that radios have an interesting nomenclature. A stands for access point, B for backhaul, C for client. So if you ever need to order the radios and you're trying to figure out what did Jeff say, which radio is which, just remember the ABCs of our radios, and that will help you keep on track. The access point, A6, let's look into that for a moment. This is the unlicensed radio, operates between 5.15 gigahertz to 6.425. This has gigabit speeds up to 4.5 aggregate at the radio. This offers OFDM as well as future OFDMA technology, which is multi-MIMO, 8x8 multi-MIMO. And that gives efficiency, greater efficiency as far as the signal, as well as using some nuances that I'll talk a little bit more when using near or non-line of sight technology. This radio has a dual SFP port, so you can put either 1 or a 10 gig SFP multi-mode or single mode fiber NIC into the radio. There's 2 of them, so if you technically have more than one A6 on the tower and you want to daisy chain them for your backhaul, you can do that. You can run one fiber up the tower and then daisy chain the radios accordingly. So that's one technique that we've seen that works very well. Again, this radio operates on 802.3 AT technology, so it has a built-in PoE as well as data port, 1 gig data port. So if you want to use your Cat6 cabling, you can do so. Or if you're on a tower, maybe you have a positive or negative 48 volt system, many customers will elect to use the built-in 48 volt port on the radio to energize the radio. So you have a couple different ways of energizing the radio. Again, it really depends on your environment and your deployment. Next is our C6X. This is a dual purpose radio. This is both a client radio as well as a point-to-point radio. And why I say that is that there's a firmware built into the radio. Within the firmware that built into the radio is the ability to switch either to point-to-point, as taking 2 C6Xs and putting up kind of an ad hoc or maybe a permanent point-to-point system, or you can flip the bit within the radio there. There's a feature set that you turn on and the radio becomes a point-to-multipoint client or subscriber radio. So it gives you the flexibility. You can carry a number of these in your vehicle, or in your installation crew can have them. And if the need arises where you need to use it either as a point-to-point or multi-point radio, you can do so. Now, when it's in point-to-multipoint, it's a subscriber radio only. So you can't use it as an access point. It really is just for subscriber use only. So it will have to be matched up with the A6 radio for it to participate in the point-to-multipoint system. This radio has a gigabit Ethernet port that provides both data as well as power, and it's using 802 AF technology. And so that's 30 watts of 24 volts, but it will also run on 48 volts. So it gives you the flexibility of using either or power source. As long as the PoE is a passive PoE, it'll work just fine. This radio operates up to 1.75 in point-to-multipoint mode, and then 2 gigs on point-to-point mode. So again, very high performing radio, and it does provide what you need. Now, in rainy or wet environments, you see that it's IP67 rated, so this gives you the ability to install in environments that are harsh or wet climates. Our next radio here we're really excited about. This is literally the game changer radio of today's presentation that I want to focus in on is the C6. Now, what's the difference between the C6 and C6X? Well, the big difference is that C6 has a active beamforming antenna array built underneath that radome that you see, that flat face of the radio. So that radio here actually is a combination radio and antenna. So it's a built-in 20 dBi antenna. But what's really neat about this radio is because it has an active beamforming capabilities, it can participate in the multi-MIMO technology, as well as it can also support both near line of sight and non-line of sight. So this is very much different than what we've had up to now. We're really excited about this radio. I personally tested this radio both indoors and outdoors. I have one sitting here on my desk right now. It's going through a window and a wall, and it's able to connect the AP down the way here. So the benefits of this radio is obviously, we all know that line of sight has always been our nemesis with line of sight point-to-point and multi-point systems. This radio breaks that barrier because it uses and utilizes the multi-MIMO technology and can literally steer around or use the reflections of obstructions and buildings to its benefit. So if you're in an environment where there's a lot of trees or a lot of obstructions, man-made or natural, consider this radio. Now, the big question everyone asks is, when's this radio going to be available? I just spoke to our product development team today, and they said it will be available Q3 this year. We currently have some demo units out there today that we're using, and everything so far looks really good. We're very excited about this radio. And again, this is the first for Mimosa. It is the near line of sight or non-line of sight radio. And just to add, as far as some of the real world testing we've done, we have one customer that's our beta tester out in the Midwest who has this radio set up on a 6-foot pole. He has the AP on a standard tower, and he's able to send the signal at 2 locations, one at 3 miles and then one at 5 miles, where he's able to make connectivity and get full data rates even at 5 miles. And mind you, there's a hill in between the two. They're still able to make that connection. So really excited about this radio and what it has to offer. So keep your eye out for the C6 client radio. The B6X is our point-to-point product. This is a 6 series radio that we've launched here. We're very excited about this radio. It gives a whole new level of connectivity. It has some features built in that you'll notice also with the A6, and that it has 2 SFP ports. Again, this is very important if you're interfacing this radio to existing fiber, or you're considering using fiber for a tower or implementation. This radio has 2 SFP ports that support either 1 gig or 10 gig SFP multi-mode or single mode fiber. It also has a PoE Ethernet port that provides both data and power to the radio. And you'll also notice it also has a port there for 48 volts, so you can feed the radio as well with 48 volts on the port there themselves. So again, 2 different ways to energize the radio, 2 different connectivities with SFP, and you also have the ability to use the PoE / data on the 1 gig Ethernet port. So keep an eye out on this in your product there. I think it's pretty exciting, the technology. This provides up to 3 gigabits aggregate throughput. We have a number of these deployed worldwide, and we're getting overall really good results. We have some customers that are pushing the envelope, including one that I just found out today is doing over 40 kilometers out in the South Pacific area with a point-to-point link with the B6X. So we're very excited about this product. As this product matures, you will see firmware enhancements and also other types of enhancements with the radio, including, and I'll show you here in just a moment, the next slide, we have an ability to put an adapter on this radio to use a connectorized RF cabling. So if you're using existing antennas and you want to interface this with your radio, with a B6X, you can actually use one of the adapters that we sell. In the center of this slide here, you can see that adapter, and that gives you the ability to put on a end connector type device and interface it with your existing 5 and 6 gig radio. We also have a number of other antennas that interface with the B6X as well as the C6X. They're what we call the twist-on antennas, the N5X series antennas. They come in sizes from 12 dBi all the way up to 25 dBi. And we also include, we have a 30 dBi antenna that will even give you further distance. Now, typically people that are using the antennas for point to multipoint may not want to use the 30 dBi because it's rather large, but for the B6X, you may consider using the 30 dBi for it. So again, it's a big selection of different types of antennas that you can use that we sell, as well as the adapter. So if you need to interface with your own antenna, you can do so as well. Here's just a quick example of distances that we see with our point to multipoint system. So we got the A6 on the far left, then we have the C6 there. Typically in urban environments, you're gonna use more often than not short distance between the access point and the client radio, just because of distance and as far as going from a building to a tower or so forth. So most customers that are using our radios in urban environments will either elect to use the C6X without the antenna on the front, because one little fact is that the C6X has a built-in 8 dBi antenna, or if you do elect to put a larger antenna, you can go with the N5X12, which is a 12 dBi horn that screws right onto the radio. Now, if you need more RF performance, or you need to go further out, you may want to consider going with the N5X16 or the N5X20, which is very popular in suburban environments. And so these are important because you can carry multiple different type of antennas in your installation vehicle, and as the need arises, you need to get better performance with your RF. You can literally swap out the antenna in a matter of seconds, if not minutes. So it's a fairly quick solution for improving your RF performance. Now, if you're really going out far, you're out in the rural area, or if you just have a long link, you may elect to go with the N5X25, or like I said, even you can go further out with a 30 dBi, or use your own personal antenna and use the adapter to interface. So I want to talk a little bit about some customer use cases, because it's great talking about antennas and radios, but how do we get those to work with our customer environments? So we have a number of different customer environments that I've outlined here. You have your enterprise smart city, which is ever increasing technology, whether it's smart grid or smart meter, or even smart city applications. You have public safety that obviously needs to be connected in critical mission environments. You have your rural locations that are further out that need connectivity, where maybe do not have the more traditional cable or dial-up connection. Security is a very important piece in this day and age, where having high resolution cameras is very important to have that ability using the wireless. And then, campus environments, and I'm not just talking about universities, although we do have a number of customers using our products in universities. Campus environments like, businesses, business parks, and so forth. We have multiple businesses. You may elect to want to use like a C6X to connect one building to another, or you may decide to use another radio to provide that connectivity. And then finally, cellular backhaul. This is becoming more and more popular. We're seeing a number of large carriers lately that are really looking into the fixed wireless access as a means to connect their existing infrastructure, as well as extend their cellular networks. So, today you have a cell site and you are, 5 miles away from that location. Rather than waiting for the next cell site to be built out, many providers worldwide are deciding to use our radios to extend their existing cellular coverage, so that they can set up a access point and then provide connectivity. Now, many of our modern day phones will actually switch over and provide cellular service over the Wi-Fi. So it's just one more way to enrich the environment with the Wi-Fi for both not only data, but also voice and surveillance and security. So there's a number of different ways you can use our products today. It really depends on your wireless needs. Here's one example of a fixed wireless single family home. This is taken from one of our colleagues here that's very close to Reliance Jio. And much of this is what you'll see as far as what they're doing over in India with our products today. What you see here with the A6, it's on a tower. It's providing wireless connectivity back to a C6X on a building or a home. And then from that C6X, dropping into the home is a Ethernet cable that provides an Ethernet access where they can plug in their customer premise router or access point and then provide connectivity indoors. So again, this is very, very popular, not only overseas, but also here in the US. Fixed wireless access and multi-dwelling units. This is becoming more and more popular. You have existing infrastructure. Maybe the building is older and has a twisted pair DSL, or maybe they have dial-up or some other antiquated or legacy type infrastructure. With the FWA system, one of the things that we can do is actually provide the client radio on top of the building, dropping that cable into the building, and then using what we call a RMDU, which is a reverse port device. Essentially, it's a switch that provides connectivity, and then you can redistribute the connectivity to multi-floors or multi-dwelling units within the building. So this is very popular, again, overseas as well, more and more here in the US. And finally here, the FWA multi-dwelling unit. This one here is a little different. Instead of using the point-to-multipoint system, you can see here we have a B6X on a tower pointing back to a B6X on a building. This is really popular, especially with campus environments where you need a higher throughput and maybe just a direct point-to-point link between the tower and the building. So you can see here where the B6X is providing that connectivity to the tower, from the tower to the building, and then from the building down into the MDF closet, providing wireless connectivity, or in some cases, using the fiber all the way down into the telecom closet. So it really depends on each circumstance, but it gives you the flexibility to choose your means of connectivity within the building. Fixed wireless today works very well in of itself, but you have to have a good backhaul, right? And so today we see many customers using fiber to interface with our products. That's all well and good, and it should be used that way because, again, we're able to extend that fiber, that last mile wireless connectivity to the customers that you can see on the far right. That fiber does provide excellent means to connect back to the intended area of coverage. Unfortunately, that always is not the case with fiber. Sometimes fiber falls short as far as penetrating into a certain area, where a point-to-point system can provide you an extension of that fiber using, like I said, the B6X here in the picture, where it can actually provide that extra length of distance that you can go and penetrate the market and receive revenue this year instead of the next year if you're waiting for the fiber to be built out. So again, fiber is not our enemy. It's actually complementary to what we're doing. I like to believe that. And so you can see today we do work very well with existing and new fiber implementations. Here's another example when we were talking about cellular earlier. I wanted to mention this. We're seeing this more and more where cellular markets are using our product to extend their cellular coverage, whether it's using their typical LTE system, or maybe they're using CBRS or other means of providing picocell or microcell coverage. You can see using our radios, even in this case, our C5X, which is an earlier model 5 series radio. We can provide point-to-point connectivity, extending fiber markets into areas where they may not have coverage. And so again, this one more way to use our products to extend not only just your fiber, but also extend your cellular coverage. Now, behind every good radio, you have to have a good management system, and I believe that we have an excellent management system. Let me just talk a little bit about this. If you're not familiar with our Mimosa Cloud Management, Mimosa Cloud Management is a free service that we provide to all our customers. Simply sign up on the website, and once you sign up, you gain immediate access to the Mimosa Cloud Management. Why this is important to you as a consumer is that the Mimosa management system provides you a couple things right off the top. First thing, is it gives you the ability to design your network. So if you want to do a
quick design or maybe a conceptual design of a network that you may or may not have installed yet, there is a built-in network design tool. This is very important, especially when you're planning your network, as the network design tool will give you a good ballpark figure of what your speeds should be based on the criteria that we use. It also will tell you whether or not you have clear line of sight if you use a point-to-point or multi-point line of sight system, and then also will tell you, what kind of performance you should achieve at the client side. So again, this is a ballpark figure, and the reason why I use that term is loosely is because one of the things the tool does not do is it doesn't take in account your more traditional RF propagation clutter data. That's best used for your full on RF propagation tools. This tool here, because it's free and because clutter data is very expensive, we offer the tool free of charge using national elevation data for your elevation changes and so forth. Again, it gives you a good indication of what you should expect as far as your network goes. The other piece of the tool is the unlock. When you first purchase our radio, the first thing you'll need to do is to upgrade the firmware and then next install the unlock key. And the way you generate the unlock key on the radio is that you go to your Mimosa Cloud Management, you go ahead and put in your serial number, and then it will crank out a unlock key that you install into your radio, and your radios will become configured for your country of operation. So this is very important for a couple of reasons. One, when you do this, it actually registers your serial number into the system, so no one else can use your radio. So worst case scenario, say someone climbs your tower and steals your radio. They get a hold of us at Mimosa and say, hey, I got this radio at a garage sale. We look up the serial number and we see it's owned by Acme Dynamite. And I asked him, are you Wile E. Coyote? He says, no, I'm Elmer Fudd. I'm saying, oh, I'm sorry, Elmer, you're not going to be able to use this radio. And then we literally lock the radio out. And then if needed, we can even contact the customer and let them know that the radio has been shown up in our system. So there's some nice protections built into the management device, and pardon the Warner Brothers reference there, but the good news is that you have a management feature built into where you can able to secure your radios and essentially not be used by anyone else. Even if they default the radio and try to rebuild the configuration, put their own unlock key in there, because the unlock key is actually generated on our website, the radio will show up as being used by managed or owned by someone else, and will enable to be unlocked. So real nice feature set, just something to consider. And the final piece of the Mimosa Cloud Management is the ability to manage your radios. So as you can see here, you can literally manage each of your radios that have been assigned to you. You get a visual of the devices on a Google map, as well as your performance metrics and historical information is kept on the cloud. Again, we're talking about design, unlock, and manage on the cloud. Design, lock, and manage on the cloud. You can see that there's different feature sets here. This is just a quick picture of a design I did up in Tacoma, Washington for one of our customers, where there's multiple A6s covering the market area. You can see here there's the ability to unlock the radios based on the country of operation. And finally, you have the ability to manage your radios. And this is a screenshot of when you first log into your management system, that you can see all your different radios. You can see the health and status of your radios. Green means that the radio is up and running. Yellow means that there's a warning, and red means that the radio is offline. The black zero there, that means that the radio is never actually reported in. So you can see historical as well as real-time information of your network. And finally, I want to talk about MMP, Mimosa Management Platform. This is similar to the cloud management, but the difference is that the Mimosa Cloud Management has the ability to run on a standalone system, meaning you download the software from the cloud management, and then once you download that software, you install that on your Linux-based operating system behind your firewall. This is a real popular system for customers that are either tier 1 operators where they do not want internet-facing access to their servers, or they just want to be able to control their information. So this is a real nice feature set. It's the best part about it is the basic package is free. You can download it today, install it. It takes about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to install them on a Linux-based either Red Hat or Ubuntu system. And once you get up and running, you report your radios back to your server, put the IP into your radios, and they immediately start seeing your radios show up on the MMP. So again, very important system, especially if you want to scale your network. And the reason why I say that is that the free offering here will provide up to 5,000 devices. If you want to get some of the more added features of the radio, we do have premium features available based on licensing and pricing. One of them is the reporting functionality of the MMP, where you're not only able to see a number of different metrics reported, but you can also export that data out of the MMP into other systems. So if you want to track this information on a historical basis or offer it in some other system, we do have built-in API hooks as well as northbound reporting built into the MMP at the Pro license. One more thing is, I missed the slider. One more thing is, just as I spoke about the premium, the free licensing on the MMP, you have a number of different things that you can do. You can do bulk firmware upgrades, you can do email alerts, you can do user authorization management. These are all free features. Now, most of our customers that purchase the MMP today will purchase License A and License B, which is a combined, where it gives you all the same features of the free, but also gives you the features of License A and License B. Some of the big features of License B is the northbound API, as well as threshold alarms and the ability to get statistical reporting and export of data collected. Now, if you want to go more than, say, 5,000 devices, which is a pretty large amount, and you need to extend your MMP, then you can actually purchase License C. This gives you the ability to extend it up to 50,000 wireless devices. And then if you are a really large corporation and want to do multiple server farms with the MMP, we do have a multi-server license. And so these are all available today. So again, those are the different feature sets of the MMP. I do have one more slide. Oh, here we go. Yep. So let's talk about kind of our value proposition. You know, Mimosa has been around since 2012. It's been built with roots in Silicon Valley. We've been doing this very well for a long time. We started our technology and business rooted in the point-to-point system, and then about 6 years ago we broke into the point-to-multipoint system, and we have literally thousands of customers as well as devices out there today. We are really focused on providing the best possible solution for our customers, whether you're a WISP operator or a carrier class customer. We deliver high-speed, reliable connectivity to those who need it. We're scalable. It's important to have a product that is scalable, where you can grow your network and grow your product accordingly. And then finally, innovation to the core. We are very innovative. We have our design team here in Santa Clara, California, and this design team literally designs our radios from the ground floor up. We get them manufactured overseas in Malaysia, parts of India as well. So today, we're happy to say that all our radios are designed from Mimosa, and we continue to keep that thought and process because we believe that's the best value as well as the best performance that we can give. Oh, one more thing, we're cost efficient. We're not the cheapest radio in town. We're not the most expensive radio in town. We are really a price performance solution. And with that being said, I'll go ahead and open it up to questions.
Wonderful, wonderful. We have a few questions on doc. Is there unlicensed on 6 gigahertz frequency for US, or do we still apply for an experimental license?
Great question. So today, if you want to operate in 6 gigahertz in US, you have a couple options. One, we have the ability to provide 6 gigahertz with a special unlock key. Now, we ask our customers that want to unlock their radios for 6 gigahertz to have a FCC license. So that's the first part. The second part is that we are literally, I would say months away. We're literally months away from offering the AFC, which will provide you the ability to use 6 gigahertz for the A6 and C6X. So we're planning on releasing this in June of this year. We have a lot of hoops to go through to get this done. Good news is the firmware works. I can attest to that. I'm one of the beta testers on the AFC system, and works very good. We're just now in the final stretches of authorization and certification with FCC. So you will see AFC opening up here for the A6 C6X this June.
Fantastic. Based on your slides, you say the A6 C6 line has TDD and 6 gigahertz support. When can we expect firmware that actually does that? Current firmware only does Wi-Fi mode and has no AFC support for 6 gigahertz band.
Yeah, so today, our new firmware for the AFC, which opens up the AFC, you will not need to have a experimental license when that firmware is released. That will occur this June. So that's the first part. The TDD portion of it, we're currently working with our parent company, testing the TDD over in India. And from what I've been told, it's working very well. We're hoping to release that very soon, but I don't have an immediate date. But if I was to venture to say, you should see the TDD released here in the next few months. I have TDD on my test network right now, and so far so good. We're having really good results. Now, part of the TDD will not only just be TDMA technology using the GPS sync, but the other piece of TDD will be the increase of client count. So you will see increase in excess of 30 devices. Our end goal result for TDD on the A6 is to get 100 by the end of the year.
Is there any cost of the AFC feature to use the 6 gigahertz frequencies?
There is. Unfortunately, the government will charge you for the license. The license does cost, I'm not sure what the filing fee is at this point. I can guess at it, but I won't do that right now. But my recommendation is if you do want to file for experimental license, I believe it's a 2-year license. The best way to go about that is to hire a frequency coordinator to do all the paperwork and the footwork that's accompanied with that. If you want to do it your own, that's fine, but I recommend using a frequency coordinator and have them do that for you.
Okay. With regards to the B6X in PTP mode, does it have channel bandwidth options?
It does. So great question on that. The B6X has the ability to do 20, 40, 80, and 160 megahertz. It also has the ability to do 2x mode, so you can do 2x20, so you can separate 220 megahertz frequency portions of the frequency all the way up to 160. So you can literally do a total of 320 megahertz of spectrum using the 2x160.
I do have one more question here. We have a customer with a B6 radio who states they're having some minor programming issues with it. Who would you suggest to be the best contact for them?
Sure. I think the best way to go about this is to sign on to our website at www.mimosa.co/support. On that page, you're going to actually see a bunch of information. We have documentation, we have help articles, etc. But also on that page, on the lower right-hand corner, you're going to see a chat window. Now, I know when you hear chat window, it's like, great, that means I'm going to chat with somebody that may have a difference of knowledge, may not, maybe they're working from a troubleshooting tree, maybe they're just sitting in a cubicle in a sea of cubicles somewhere. Our chat group is furthest from that. Each of our chat engineers are, in fact, either RF engineers or network engineers, so they have a expertise in either portion. Secondly, our engineers are very well versed on our product. They intimately know it through and through. So my recommendation, if you're having any issues with a radio, please consider going onto our chat page. It's operated 20/5, meaning 20 hours by 5 days a week. If you happen to have a problem over the weekend, my recommendation is to send an email, which is also on that page, and one of our engineers will get back to you no later than Monday morning. So feel free to exercise that portion of our support. Again, I'm very near and dear to support. I used to manage it once upon a time, and I can tell you we're very proud of our team and the expertise that they offer to help solve your problems.
Okay. One last quick question jumped in. Why stop at 6.4 gigahertz and not 7.1?
Yes, so interesting you say that. So 6.4 is the current chipset that we are using in our radios. We have plans on our roadmap, and these are solid plans, they're not just wish lists. We have plans in offering a 7 gigahertz radio, so a radio that will actually index up to 7.125. So that radio will be released this year, as I understand. And if you had any questions on that, feel free to reach out to Lucia or myself, and we can share more of our product roadmap with you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jeff. I want to say thank you to you, but I also want to say as a quick reminder to our listeners, we will be sending out an email shortly with all this information that you just learned. So please keep an eye out for that.
Thank you, everyone, for your audience and your time, and we look forward to providing you the best wireless solution that I believe you can get. Feel free to reach out to us at www.mimosa.co, and we look forward to hearing some good things. Thank you.
I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, and as always, thank you for joining.